what's up? Yeah, it's a new so-called new year. In a couple hours. I want to talk about. There's no such thing as a new year, right? People think there's a new year. We're in a cycle. We repeat the same year over and over. Allegedly, in a couple of minutes, a couple of hours, we will travel from December to January. And in January, we will have a fresh start. We'll forget about Christmas, where we went broke. We went broke purchasing people's gifts, purchasing family members and friends' gifts, because God was born, right? And because God was born on December 25th, you gotta go broke and go into the new year with absolutely nothing but regrets. And with these regrets, you gotta write you a resolution. What you're gonna do better next year. And what you're gonna do next year, you're gonna repeat the same cycle. You're gonna go broke for the holidays in January. You're gonna go broke for Valentine's Day, Easter. You're gonna go broke for all of the same exact months. You're gonna celebrate your alleged birthday. They keep calling it birthday to keep you believing, keep you from growing, because you will never go back to that day you was born. You will never be a child again. You will never be a toddler. Your birthday happened a long time ago, but we're in a delusion and we celebrate thinking we're going back to our birthday, and we're just not growing. You're not growing economically, you're not growing spiritually, but your body's growing. And you associate your body growing because you think we're passing through time. But in reality, time is man-made. Millennia ago, probably recently, people realized that the earth is actually in a cycle. And some parts of the earth is different than other parts. And like you go to Alaska. In Alaska, it doesn't get dark for half the year. So half the year is just non-stop sunlight, and the other half of the year is non-stop darkness, right? Some parts of the earth doesn't have snow, like in the Middle East, in Israel, and in Africa, they don't have snow. So Christmas couldn't have started in Jerusalem. Santa Claus couldn't have came from Jerusalem because they don't have pine trees. They don't have reindeers. That's something that you get from cold climates. Very few parts of the world, even in America, in California, Texas, it doesn't snow. But Chicago has 4 seasons. It seems that Chicago must be the center of the world because it's like the perfect place for all of the traditions that everybody in the world celebrates, right? But we associate the different parts of the world and the cycle that we go through that we can predict. We associate that with the passing of time, and we say, okay, we're never going to escape Easter. We're never going to escape winter. We're never going to escape Christmas. We're never going to escape Thanksgiving. So we got to repeat it over and over and over, right? And because we repeat the same thing over and over every year, we end up with the same results, which is January 1st, you go broke and you have a resolution, you have a declaration that you're going to do this differently. So by next year, you won't be broke. But you succumb to the same holidays. You fall for the same trick, thinking that we're passing through time because we see the sun rotating. Now, if we was actually rotating, if the earth was rotating around the sun, how come when you go to Alaska, it doesn't get dark? How come it doesn't get dark? Answer that question. The sun is frozen right there. The earth, something else is happening in this earth. The earth has to be stationary. And the earth has to be a construction. It has to be man-made, for it to be this perfect and precise, and for it to be vastly different in different parts. Chicago is very different than Texas, even though you can drive to Texas, but the weather is very different. It's a lot hotter in Texas than it is in Chicago. And they say the sun is stationary. It doesn't move. We're moving around the sun, right? And because we're moving around the sun based on the different positions, we're spinning and moving based on the different positions that the earth is to the sun and the spin cycles that determines time. And we're just stuck in this endless cycle. And we got to do the same routines, the same traditions over and over every year, right? But my conclusion is this. We're going in a straight line. There's a timeline, and you will never go back. You can go back mentally when you remember, but it's pointless to think about a birthday. You know, forget your birthday. Think about growing. Think about accomplishing something. Think about achieving. Think about not going broke. Think about acquiring and building something. Because if you follow the scam of the year cycle and a month cycle and every particular day associated with every month, July, you got to go broke in July because of the 4th of July. You got to go broke in December. You got to go every month. You got to go broke. You will never have nothing. You will always be struggling and suffering. But if you just stop thinking about these months and just grow and think about accomplishing, achieving, building, you will be a lot more successful in life than thinking about next year. Because in certain cultures, like in the Islamic cultures, they say we're in the 1500s. And in the Chinese cultures, we're in the 4,000 or 5,000. All of these calendars are man-made. And they all use the observations of the sky and the climate to determine the calendar. But you don't know what day this really is. You don't know what year this really is. You don't know what month this really is. This is what the society determined. And because they determined this is that particular month and this is that particular day, you are obligated to go broke, to celebrate these days. And it's all about keeping you broke, taking your power, taking your wealth.